It all began innocently enough. Emily, my wife, had always been the heart of every room she entered. She thrived in the warmth of attention, glowing beneath the flickering light of admiration like a flame constantly craving more air. I never resented it. Her charisma was magnetic, the kind of presence that made people lean closer when she spoke, that lit up crowded rooms with her laughter alone. That infectious charm was one of the reasons I fell in love with her. But what once felt like light turned into something darker, a hunger for validation that soon reached far beyond the boundaries of our marriage. It was a vibrant Saturday night, the kind Emily lived for. We were hosting a dinner party, one of her favorite pastimes. She had orchestrated every detail to perfection, from the menu down to the precise seating arrangement meant to stir lively conversation and pair personalities like a skilled conductor crafting a symphony. She loved being the center of it all, and I let her have it. After all, she seemed happy. Our home buzzed with laughter, clinking glasses, and the low hum of music. Friends filled the house, along with a few of her co-workers. Among them was Derek, a man I'd never quite trusted. He wore his arrogance like cologne, saturating every interaction with smug confidence. Something about him set my nerves on edge. I'd voiced this before, but Emily had brushed it off, laughing as she called me jealous. "He's harmless, David. Don't be ridiculous." The evening appeared flawless, at least on the surface. I was in the kitchen, refilling wine glasses, when I heard Emily's voice, soft, hushed, just beyond the archway near the hallway. I hadn't meant to eavesdrop, but her tone stopped me. It was laced with excitement and a smugness I hadn't heard in years. Curious and instinctively uneasy, I stood still. "Have you seen Derek tonight?" she said, her voice almost breathless, with admiration. "He's practically a god, Rachel, and trust me, he knows exactly what he's capable of." I blinked. Her laughter followed, giddy, almost teenage. My stomach twisted. "Rachel, her closest friend," gasped. "Emily, are you serious? What about David?" Her answer was a whisper, but it slammed into me like a wrecking ball. "David's sweet. Sure, but he's so predictable. Derek, he's in a league of his own. Let's just say David could never compare." Her voice trailed off into silence, but the damage was done. I stood there, numb, gripping the wine bottle like it was the only thing keeping me from collapsing. My ears rang. I couldn't breathe. This wasn't just flirtation. It wasn't just a crush. This was betrayal, and she wasn't ashamed of it. She was bragging, laughing, in our home, at a party we were hosting together. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I returned to the living room with a forced smile, handing out glasses, laughing at jokes, even making small talk with Derek as if my world hadn't just cracked wide open. But inside, something in me had shifted. I couldn't unhear those words. I couldn't forget the mocking tone, the dismissiveness, the cruelty wrapped in confidence. In the days that followed, I became consumed by the need to know more. I combed through her phone when she was asleep, checked email accounts, social media, anything I could access, and what I found made my blood run cold. There were messages, vulgar, explicit exchanges, photos I wish I could burn from memory, and plans to meet during her lunch breaks in places I'd never even known she visited. The evidence was damning, but I didn't rush. Confronting her in anger wasn't enough. I wanted her to feel the full gravity of what she'd done, not just behind closed doors, but in the same blinding spotlight she'd always basked in. I hired a private investigator to dig deeper, to leave no room for denial. He was thorough. The images, the call logs, the rendezvous locations, everything was meticulously documented. Then came the discovery that pushed me further. Derek was married. His wife, Sophie, had recently given birth to their first child. My heart ached for her. She didn't deserve this either. I reached out anonymously, sent her the proof, and when she responded, her voice shaking with devastation, I knew we were aligned. We made a quiet pact to reveal the truth in a way that neither Emily nor Derek could run from. 2 weeks later, Emily planned another dinner party, just like before. She threw herself into it with gleeful attention, candles lit, wine selected, music chosen with care. She had no idea the storm that was brewing. I played my part, affectionate husband, helpful host, and ensured Derek received an invitation. He showed up, arrogant as ever, smirking at me like he owned the room. I returned the gesture with a tight-lipped smile, my pulse steady, my resolve solid. Midway through the evening, as conversations lulled and guests picked at dessert, I tapped. "My glass, everyone," I said, raising my voice just enough to silence the room. "May I have a moment of your time? I'd like to share something important." Emily looked over, her face glowing with anticipation. She probably expected a heartfelt toast, something to make her feel adored, admired. I connected my laptop to the television. "Emily has always been my light," I began, the words calm, deliberate, but lately I've discovered she's been shining that light in places it didn't belong. Confused murmurs stirred through the room. Emily tilted her head, uncertain. "David, what are you doing?" She laughed nervously. Without answering, I pressed play. The screen lit up with screenshots, message after message between her and Derek, crude language, naked photos, private jokes. The room froze. Gasps rippled around us. Derek's smug expression evaporated into panic. Emily jolted to her feet. "David, stop this right now," she cried. But I wasn't done. The next slide showed surveillance. Photos, Derek and Emily in a hotel lobby, embracing like lovers. The timestamp marking her supposed lunch break. Voices broke into chaos. Rachel turned pale. Someone dropped a fork. Then a sharp voice rose from the back. "Sophie." She stood, trembling, her eyes locked on Derek. "You lying coward," she spat. "You told me you were working late. You let me care for our baby alone while you were off doing this with her." She pointed directly at Emily, who stood frozen in shame. "Sophie, please." Derek STAMMERED. Double quotes. "No, you don't get to explain. Not now, not ever." She turned to me, her voice softening. "Thank you for telling me. You didn't just save me, you woke me up." And with that, she walked out the door, Derek chasing after her like a fool who'd finally realized what he lost. The room descended into silence. Everyone stared at Emily, who was now shaking, her hands covering her face. She looked at me, voice small. "David, please, let's talk about this privately." I shook my head, unflinching. "Privately," I repeated. "You bragged about him in our home. During a party I helped you host. You mocked me without remorse. You lost the right to privacy the moment you made a spectacle of your betrayal." She crumpled into a chair, tears streaming down her cheeks. But no one moved to comfort her. The friends who had once laughed beside her were now stunned into silence, unsure if they ever truly knew her at all. In the following days, Emily tried everything. Apologies, tears, desperate promises. She begged me not to end it, accused me of being too ordinary, too boring, as if that justified her disloyalty. But I was done being small in my own life. I filed for divorce, and I made sure everyone knew why. She lost more than just me. Her reputation unraveled. Friends stopped returning her calls. Invitations disappeared. Even her boss heard whispers. And the social circle she'd once ruled turned cold. Derek didn't walk away untouched either. Sophie tore him apart in court, and the fallout ruined his career. Their affair cost them everything. As for me, I've begun to heal, slowly, quietly, with a sense of dignity that no betrayal could ever take. While they scramble to pick up the broken shards of their reckless choices, I'm building something better from mine, something honest, something whole.